not too sure that I'm okay with this.
Okay, here we go. Do you hate that?
No, but like I'm telling you, since we had that conversation a couple weeks ago, it's drastically improved. So that makes it a lot better. Yes.
And I was like, why are you scared of me? Why are you scared to tell me
I mean, it's not I'm scared.
What's
Welcome
up?
back, Cordal fam.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are filming a Q&A, a juicy Q&A.
It's a lot more extreme than our first Q&A.
Way more.
I'm not too sure that I'm okay with this.
Really?
Really?
Why?
Becky.
What?
Let's get this show on the road.
Okay, it's fine. We're just gonna get right into it, okay?
Let's just hop right in.
Let's just hop right in. So we'll start with some of the more simple ones.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into
But also, if y'all
the...
didn't see where to ask us a question, be sure to follow Devin on Instagram.
Yes.
That's where the questions are coming from.
We'll say that thank you for asking us questions because we didn't have to make up questions this time. Last Q&A, we probably made up 75% of those questions.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, let's jump right in.
Let's jump right in.
How did you guys meet? So we kind of met like
Social media.
9 years ago. So
9 whole years.
9 whole years. We were youngins.
Yeah.
And it was just the puppy dog, like, oh, some cute little boyfriend, girlfriend type stage.
Yeah.
We were friends on Facebook, but I deleted him and added him back so it would get his attention, and it obviously worked.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I said, who is that?
But then I got his number. I sent him a text and said, hey, and then he replied, and then I was like, I'm not gonna reply. And then I was like, I can't believe I was that savage. And then the next day on the bus, I was really savage. I texted back and I said...
You said, one of my friends gave me this number, but they didn't tell me who it is.
Yeah, so I was like, who is this?
Which should have cued me in right there. Lion!
Yeah. But it's because we had already known that my sister was trying to hook us up. And
Well,
so...
I didn't.
But you had already heard my name because of...
Yeah. You're right.
Then we just started texting and then...
Never stopped, basically.
So who was interested first? So, me.
Yeah.
Because I found you.
Right.
Through the grapevine. Who's older?
Me. Only by, let's see, 5 months.
5 months. So we're both 23.
Yeah.
We're youngins. Where did we meet? The movie theaters.
That's the first time we actually met.
Yeah, and it was like Father's Day because... No, it wasn't. Not that time. Was it love at first sight? I would say... We've always said this. We were like, that we knew something was different about each other.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy because we were so young.
Right.
So I can't say it was like love at first sight because I didn't really know what love was.
Right. And I mean, like, that wasn't in our head, you know?
Yeah.
Because we were so young.
Right.
But I mean, if we would have met like at this age, then yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Or in even later high school. But we literally met 8th grade.
Yeah.
But as we were dating and stuff, even when we would go through little breakup phases, I mean, like a few days, you know, just over stupid stuff. We still knew, like I knew I couldn't imagine life without you.
Right.
Like I knew you would be a part of my life somehow in some way. So
For sure.
it wasn't until later in high school when we were like, oh, okay, this is serious. Do y'all ever have hard days? It's hard because only on Insta you only see the best. Of course.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's just nature. People really only show the good side of things on their social media. I try to be a more, like, especially through pregnancy, that's whenever I started getting into social media more, like sharing things about my struggles. Obviously, there's still days, like even if between us and stuff, like we're not gonna post on our story like us arguing or something, you know?
Yeah, everybody has bad days.
Everybody has bad days. So that's why, because I used to be that way, I would compare myself to other people's relationships on social media, friendships, relationships, everything. But then I have to remember they're human too, and we all have bad days.
You only see what people want you to see on social media.
What was one of the biggest things that almost ruined your relationship but y'all overcame?
Immaturity.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
And like, obviously we both made mistakes. You made mistakes, I made mistakes. But, and that goes back to, we've been together 9 years, which is crazy to say. I feel like why our marriage is so good is because we went through all that stuff. Yeah, you know?
For sure.
And we met at such a young age, so of course we were immature. But we also had to, like, he overcame things on his own, I overcame things on my own with God. Like when we got involved with the church,
that helped a lot.
That helped a lot, and that brought us closer together and made us feel like, okay, we've got to put God first if we want to be together.
Right.
So, do you guys even fight?
There's a lot of times I just want to whack.
Yeah, knock them outside the head.
Just kidding, obviously.
Of course,
I mean,
again, there's like mess ups in all relationships,
Yeah.
but
we don't really fight.
we
that
don't.
much.
Like, we bicker, like, we'll be
Yeah.
like bickery,
Right.
if that a word.
And it's,
But-
and it's, I mean,
It's because we dated
honestly,
so long, so we went
right.
through all that stuff.
right. Yeah. I mean, we've been through a lot. We went through a lot before we even got married.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine like your high school years and then dating that same person throughout your whole entire time, like growing up.
Yeah. So we
You know
went
what I
through all
mean?
those phases.
Yeah. Which, not that you're like grown up when you're 18, but
Yeah.
you know, you mature a lot
It
when you're,
matures a lot.
some people, I guess,
Yeah.
mature a lot when you're in high school. So we went through that together.
Yeah.
Right now, in our current, like where we are, we argue most because of like being tired
Because of Ivy. Yeah. I would say.
Like that's when we're kind of like at each other. It's like when we're both just exhausted and.
And I will say, this is the most we've ever,
100%.
like, I guess, gotten on each other's nerves in a way,
Right.
or like where we are just so, we can just be so
There's
catty.
more tension.
Tension.
A lot of
and
times.
it's ever since we had Ivy.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important that we have to keep God centered at our relationship and remember it's God, us, and then Ivy.
Right.
Because I never want, our parenting styles to get in the way of us. But it's because we'll be so, like he said, tired, or we don't want to be that way with each other, but it's like we result to that. How do you two go about it when there's a decision to be made and y'all can't agree?
Well, we've been in this situation, not like a whole lot, but a decent amount of times. And I think that we kind of always resort back to like pros and cons.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, the amount of times that we've written that, well, you do all the writing. Pros and cons, and what you call those charts? That's like big circle, a little section in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know. A
I don't
spider
remember.
web? A web?
No.
But
Anyway.
I will say we agree on quite a lot of stuff.
We do.
Parenting
We have a lot
styles,
of- yeah.
like all that is pretty
Yeah.
similar.
It is. We don't
Thing-
have to do that very often.
The only thing that we
But-
disagree about, I would say, is like the house stuff
Right.
in the past.
I
Like,
mean,
that
and it's
kind
not
of
even
thing.
disagreement. It's more of like high dollar like purchases.
Yeah.
It's like kind of, should we do this or should we
Right.
not?
So we're
and
pretty
we're both
much-
playing each other's like devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So then we do pros and cons, and you know what I'm saying? And we kind of work it out that way.
What are your long-term goals and dreams?
I don't know. I mean, that's
I
hard.
mean, I would.
Like, how
what
long
if-
term?
I don't know.
You know?
I mean, I would say long-term, I'd like to keep pursuing YouTube and it grow.
Yeah.
And even as silly as that sounds, that's my goal. Like, I have a goal of being like, okay, I want to keep our YouTube up.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun for me, and then it allows
Right.
me to stay home with Ivy.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
We have our individual long-term goals and then our together long-term
Okay.
goals. So that's your individual.
Individual.
My individual goals would be like stuff in my job, in my career, advancing and just doing certain things. And then I think our goals, long-term goals together, would be a house on some land or something like that. I like cars. I'd like to have a couple cars.
Do you wish you would have waited longer before having Ivy?
No.
I don't say, because I can't regret that, because we wouldn't have her.
Right. Yeah, I think it was perfect timing.
Yeah, I do too. Pet peeves of each other and favorite things about each other. What is your pet peeve about me?
Well,
I'm trying to think of your pet
what we
peeve.
talked about the other day, but we're getting better about that.
Oh, what is it?
Devin,
can be honest.
Okay, so
I feel like it's
typically
not in
how
focus.
you see the memes about like the guy leaving clothes like everywhere and something like that. That's Devin. Like when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. So that's my pet peeve.
But it's ever since I
always
had
pick-
Ivy, and it's because I have to breastfeed. I'm
Yeah.
like, take your shirt off, boop.
Right.
It's just where
Well,
I'm at. I'm like,
it's just gotten a lot worse since you had Ivy. It's not like it didn't exist before. It's just gotten a lot worse. But I always pick her clothes up
but I've
wherever
done
they
them
are,
better.
off the floor, out of the ceiling, wherever they may be.
Yeah. And we had a very mature conversation about that.
We did.
And now, pet peeve about you. I think it's not like a pet peeve. It's just like when we're in social places, he'll kind of shut down sometimes, and it can come across rude. And so
I think it's come across at you as I'm shut down, but I just don't have anything to say.
Right, but it can come across rude. Favorite thing about
favorite thing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
favorite thing about each other.
Your personality and character, I would say, for sure.
What about my personality?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
I love how manly you are. Not like your looks, like you're fine, but I mean like
Thanks, babe.
how you want to work so hard for our family, and you're not lazy. You're very hardworking. Because laziness is very unattractive to me.
Yeah.
And
See,
you're the
personally,
opposite of
I feel
that.
like I'm lazy.
See, personally, I think you're not.
Well, it makes me feel good.
Yeah, like you're always trying to like work for us and stuff. You're just so like gentle with me, like especially when I struggle with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to
That's
calm
where
me
9 years
down.
comes in
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah.
Next.
There's a lot of more favorite things about you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When do you plan on having more kids, and how many do you want?
1.
At this point, like it's so hard for me to say we're done,
Right.
but I'm so
I agree.
content right now with Ivy.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know, obviously if we are supposed to have another one, we're going to have another one.
Right. It's all in God's hands anyway, but
He'd be fine with just Ivy.
I would be fine with just Ivy, and I do not want more than 2. I mean, like I said, it's in God's hands, so that may not happen. We may have more than 2, but
I just can't see. Okay, here's my thoughts. I don't see us having another baby
I don't
because
either.
it's been it's fun with her, but like personally, like my anxiety and stuff, it's just been a lot.
and your pregnancy was tough.
Right, and I know that happens. People have tough pregnancies and
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure.
But
But
I don't see I don't see Ivy being the only child. Like, I had tons of siblings, and I loved having siblings, especially
see,
as
for
a
the
girl.
record, she did, I didn't.
Right.
So that's why I'm fine having it on.
But from the girl standpoint, like there's more girl drama than there's guy drama.
Right.
And so for me, having like a best friends, it was fine that I was in if there was ever drama.
Right.
You know.
I get that.
So
But
I just want her to have like.
anyway, yeah.
I was about to say ingrown. Ingrown best friends. So that is, we don't know.
Possibility.
Yeah, we're just
we'll see.
gonna.
Yeah. Play it by ear.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before having Ivy but weren't able to do?
Not anything in particular, but I would say travel
Travel
more.
more.
We traveled
Which
a
is so
decent bit,
expensive.
but we like went to the same places, which was great. I don't regret any of the trips that we made, but I do wish that we could have went like 2 different places.
Right. And it's because like we can still do that now, but
Right.
it's
It's
we
a lot
miss
harder.
Ivy
Yeah.
and like all that.
Right.
What would your dream couples retreat be?
I know that I have.
Where would you want to go?
I don't really have a dream.
I would love
couples
to go
retreat.
to Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean anywhere like tropical would be fun. You know,
Yeah.
I don't really have like a certain place that I want to go with just you. You know what I'm saying? I'd be fine with anywhere.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Do y'all split up chores such as laundry, dishes, cooking, and cleaning? Yeah.
Yeah. We're working on that too.
Okay. Again, when we first got married, it was like you've always been good about getting stuff done because we both are very clean people.
Right.
Like we like our house to look tidy and all that.
Yeah.
Now, when I got pregnant, through my pregnancy, I was just yeah, exactly.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Right,
Because,
and then
you know,
after Ivy, that's understandable too. So
Yeah.
it's just now I'm feeling myself again. I'm able to do it. You know.
Right, yeah.
So, but we do kind of like I do a lot of Ivy's clothes. You know. And you do a majority of our clothes.
Right.
And then, but there's times that I'll do it too.
Right.
You do all the cooking now, except breakfast. I'll cook sometimes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's like split. You're like 75% and I'm 25%.
I would say that's pretty accurate.
But our house is pretty much always clean, so it's
Right.
not like
Yeah.
we're not like, oh my gosh, we need.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. For sure.
So, do you hate that?
No. No, but like I'm telling you, since we had that conversation a couple weeks ago, it's drastically improved. So it makes it a lot better. Because it was about 98.2 or something.
But
like
granted, we've just had a baby. I went through
Yes.
postpartum
that. Right.
depression and
Which
all
I
that,
said
and I
is
didn't
understandable.
care to do anything. So,
Right. For sure.
if you could go back in time and change anything, would you, and what? No.
No.
And even
I think
like all the
everything
bad stuff.
is the way it's supposed to be.
I do too. Because even the bad stuff,
Brought us closer together.
yeah, for sure. And like I look at it like it's cheesy, but to get a rainbow there has to be rain, you know?
Next question.
What has been the hardest communication obstacle to overcome? Do you have the same means of communication?
That's a hard question.
It is. I would say like we communicate good. Obviously, there's times where I'll be like, I can tell something's not sitting right with him.
And same.
And he just, I'm trying to ask questions to get it out.
Yeah.
And he's like,
See,
no,
and another
it's fine.
thing is
Nothing.
like, well,
it's fine. And I'm like, can we not? Do I have to?
Right.
I'll spend 10 minutes asking him. I'm like, babe, I know you. Something's bothering you. What is it? And that's a pet peeve of mine, I think. And then he finally tells me, and I'm like, why couldn't you have just said it from the beginning to save that energy for me?
And it's not that I don't like confrontation, because I don't mind confrontation, but I don't like confrontation with you. And like, because you do have anxiety, so like I always worry about if you don't feel the same way, then it's just gonna turn itself around, and it would just like be better if I never said anything, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? The time is petty stuff. Now, if it's like something legitimate, then yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've learned to bring it up, because like how you even said that one conversation we had the other day about the clothes and stuff.
Yes.
You were like shocked.
Yes.
And I was like, why are you scared of me? Why are you scared to tell me stuff?
I mean, it's not I'm scared. It's just
boo.
Like, if you would have taken it the wrong way, then it would have looked really bad on me. And then, like, if you would have taken it the wrong way, or if you would have disagreed, then that would have put us in like a really bad spot. But like, I was just at the point where I had to say something, you know. So it was just
because you were tired of picking up my t-shirts.
Yes. Next.
If you won $1 million, what would you do?
Pay off your car and buy a house. And
I'd want to help like our families.
Right.
Like,
yeah, we would probably
give some to our family.
Oh yeah.
Close friends and
for
stuff.
Sure.
And then I don't want to be greedy, so we'd give some to the church, and because that's important to tithe.
Right.
If you ever moved, where would it be?
Gatlinburg.
Yeah, for sure.
Gatlinburg, not like Gatlinburg, but you know, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, you know, somewhere there.
Is Ivy a mama or daddy's girl? Me.
That's true, but it's not going to last much longer. Wait till she's about 2.
Agree to disagree.
I bet money on it.
Who's the better singer?
I think we're both pretty trash.
You've always told me I was good.
Just kidding. Definitely you. I'm just kidding.
Just kidding?
No, I meant just kidding, like about what I said previously.
I think you are. You have a deep country voice. See that part go, baby lock them doors.
No, I'm not singing that.
Baby lock them doors and turn the lights down low.
You're a little off key, but it's good.
Okay. Favorite part of wedding day? That was such a good day.
It was fun.
But the favorite part? What's your favorite part?
No, of course not.
It was just so special. All day was great.
Yeah, the whole day was fun.
But the funnest part to me was, I think, when we were in the car on the way to our house.
Yeah.
Because it was we were so giddy and giggly, and we were like,
because you got to think about, we were together for what?
5 years at that point, 6?
5.5,
6?
something like that.
And we were like, we're about to have a sleepover.
Right. Sheesh. So
But
that
really,
was like, I think it was like,
we were like,
it's not even what y'all are thinking about. It's like
It's
the
just
fact
like,
that we were like actually married and that we
we
were going to
loved
live together.
cuddling. Like, we were like, oh.
It's just the fact that we were going to
Yeah.
be able to be together. Not all the time, but you know, a lot more than we were before. That was what made the day so great.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You
little dirty minds.
First kiss.
Oh, there it was right there.
It was when we were too young. Like, Ivy will never. I was 13.
Yeah. But it was just a peck anyway. What about it? What do they want?
It just says first kiss. So I guess it happened. 13, 14.
Yeah.
But that leads me into this question. Did you wait for marriage?
Yes.
Yes, we did. And I highly recommend.
Yes, for sure.
Obviously, there was Tim being together that long, and we weren't driven initially to wait because of what the meaning of it. We just were kind of scared. You just learned not to do it.
Right.
So, but then when we were actually learned the meaning behind it and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, we're not perfect. We were tempted and
right.
all that. But ultimately, like, I'm glad we did wait for our wedding day.
Yeah.
But even if you didn't, like, God is a very forgiving, and he redeems you.
Yep.
And
preach it, baby.
he wants to turn your story around to make it beautiful, because it's going to be beautiful. What's your favorite thing about being married?
I think what we just said, just being together.
Being together all the time. Yeah. Getting married young, do you feel like you missed out on other experiences?
No.
No. I don't think so.
I think that's what we were supposed to do, so that's what lined up. That's what we wanted to do.
I didn't care about going off to a big college and partying and all that.
I'm out on the college, bruh.
What are healthy boundaries you have for your marriage? That's good. We don't text opposite sex. Right. Like, we don't really have opposite sex friends that we aren't not friends with.
Right.
And so even with that, like, it's very, like, I guess mutual in a way of, we don't hide anything on our phones or,
right. I mean,
we don't like,
it's kind of tough because
social media too, like, we don't, like, obviously if there's a girl posting naked pictures, you're not going to follow her,
right? Yeah.
And like Snapchat, we don't like Snapchat opposite sex.
No.
And I guess that's really it. We just, we're very open, and like,
right,
we communicate if like we saw something, or we put each other first, like before friends, before things like that.
Yeah.
Those are boundaries.
Put each other first.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't feel like we had like a lot of set boundaries that we tell each other that we're not allowed to cross. It's just kind of like we know that we're not going to do that because we don't want to put ourselves or each other in any kind of position.
Like to make each other feel insecure or doubt or any of that.
Right.
How do you handle disagreements?
Well, it depends on what it is. I mean, if it's something minor, I think, because yes, we're married. Yes, we're one. But we're still two different people, and we're going to disagree on certain things. Like, that's completely natural.
Yeah.
And just because that we disagree, now obviously if it was like a major, then we would have to figure something out. But there's minor things that like I want to do that she doesn't want to do, or vice versa, and it's really not like life changing.
Yeah.
So that's just
to handle them, we like have to communicate about it.
Yeah.
Now we're petty sometimes, and I'll be petty, and I'll
everybody is.
We'll be silent with each other until we're like,
right.
Okay, I miss talking to you. Let's talk this out.
Big disagreements goes back to probably pros and cons thing.
Mm-hmm. Getting married so young, how did you know you were ready?
Well, we were together for so long. I mean, we were, what was it, 10th or 11th grade that we kind of knew we started going to church, and we realized that
we've always went to church, but it's more like
we got more involved.
Our relationship with Jesus, like, took off.
That's how you put it there. I think we were, like I said, 10th or 11th, probably 11th grade, that we realized that we were like, okay, this is serious. We want to be together.
It's hot. We knew we wanted to be together.
We wanted to be together, so we were ready to not like make sacrifices, but I guess make sacrifices. But I feel like that's what was just God's plan for us.
Sorry, I saw my hair and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God,
I felt like it was God's plan for us.
I felt like it was God's plan for us, so we were ready to.
We weren't ready financially. It all felt. That's why it was like to the world. They were like, oh my gosh, like y'all don't have jobs, y'all haven't went to college, graduated college, all that. But we knew it was supposed to. We knew God was gonna make it work for us, and He did. He blessed us. We just knew.
Yep.
When you know, you know. Are y'all staying in Dothan forever? Probably. But I don't want to say. I mean, we just never know.
I guess the plan for now is like I'll at least retire.
Yeah.
So that's 22 more years.
What's y'all's date nights look like? And typically if we do a date night, it's like...
We haven't had one in a while.
We need to. When we do, since having Ivy, we'll take Ivy to one of our parents' house or someone's house, and then we'll go to dinner. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Yep. But it's sweet. It's like... very intentional time, like we're not on our phones and all that.
And we get to spend, like, because we were used to being together all the time and spending all of our time together, basically. Since we've had Ivy, we spend like drastically less amount of time, like intentionally together. Mm-hmm. So even if it's just like for an hour, it seems like it's so much longer. Mm-hmm. Like now it's fun. Almost like, we do, and we can fit in so much like valuable time and conversation into an hour.
So how long did you date before getting engaged? Like 5 or 6 years? Who's the better cook? You. Okay, here we go.
The dirty stuff.
What was the first time like
I'm gonna let you answer that question.
I mean, we are not going to go into detail here, you know?
Right.
I would say it's not like it was in the movies. I remember on the honeymoon texting Sage and being like, what's wrong? I was like, this is not a Nicholas Sparks moment. The first time, I mean, it was sweet because it was very intimate and like special because we waited. And I mean, yeah.
That's enough.
But that's enough, yeah.
Thank you. Come again.
How important is sex in your relationship?
On like a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't know. Very important.
Extremely.
Extremely. Because there's some people, some like that we know that are like they could do without it or whatever.
Not possible.
But yeah, not possible. It brings us closer together.
Yeah.
For sure. But it's just very important to us.
That answers the question.
But like, it's God designed it for marriage.
Right.
So it's fine that we talk about it.
Jeez.
It's healthy within marriage.
Right.
You know?
Cut that out.
Oh my gosh. Do y'all schedule sex within your marriage? Used to, no.
No. We still don't.
Well, I know, but before Ivy, I mean...
Before Ivy, I mean...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the time.
Cut that out.
But now with Ivy...
It makes it a lot harder.
It is. It's a lot harder. Yeah. And it's not harder in the way... It's more so because we're tired and we just... Yeah. You know. So sometimes we're like, okay, on this night, write it on the calendar. How do you keep Jesus at the center of your relationship?
I mean, obviously we're not perfect, but since Ivy, we haven't nearly as much, but we need, you know, we've been talking about trying to get back, but obviously go to church, spend time with other, you know,
like
in the presence of
community.
other, community. There you go.
Community is important. Away from each other, individually, we have to keep our relationship first with God.
Right.
And so for me, that looks like getting in the Word, alone, like my alone time, worship music, reading the Word, prayer, and then so same for him. Yeah. And then being individually on high for Jesus brings us together more. Yeah. Having Ivy, I don't want to say it's made it harder, but my time is, I'm so consumed with that. But that's like that's convicting even just to sit here and say, because it is so important. The reason, like, God gave us Ivy and we are chosen to disciple her. Right. And so for us to even disciple well, like, we have to be discipled. We work on our own relationship with Jesus, so that can bring us together. I can tell when we're both off of, like, when we're pushing Jesus away, because we'll be like this. And then obviously there's some times where I'm more spiritually up here and he's not, and it's like that, so we can hold each other accountable. The goal is to always be here.
Right.
When did you know you wanted to start trying for a baby? It was a
quarantine.
Yeah, not really.
We just both kind of...
We just felt it. Yeah. Like, in my quiet time, literally everything I was reading was just pointing my thoughts in that direction, and the way it worked out with work, and then it's like, that's how I know God is speaking to us both, is because we'll both be getting the same thoughts. Yep. You know? Yep. And so we did, and we have Ivy. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. It was pretty deep. So sorry it's long. Thanks for asking questions. If you are not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, or if you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs up. It helps us. And comment below with any questions y'all might have that we didn't answer. Video suggestions, but
leave them in the comments below. So other than that, thanks for watching. Yes, thanks for watching. Sorry Ivy wasn't here. She's in there with her genie. All right. Bye. Peace.